Hello, my name is Michael with Entertain Me TV Show Reviews, and this is the review for Dual Survival Season 3, Episode 11, which is the final episode for this season of Dual Survival. I kinda know that I got off to a late start on these Dual Survival reviews, and therefore I've only been able to review the final 2 episodes before the season is over. So I ask all of you out there watching, should I just go back and review all the previous episodes up to episode 10, or should I just move on? Please give me your opinion in the comments or by messaging me here on YouTube. Without further ado, let's move on to the review. On this episode of Dual Survival, isolated in the Northern California's toughest mountain terrain, where making it through the cold and damp night is never a guarantee, outdoor survival skills instructor Cole Dean and 20-year-old Special Ops veteran Joe Teddy, two guys with two completely opposing survival tactics, show how to stay alive and how to find their way home through the dense and disorientating wilderness. California's Klamath Mountains lie 250 miles north of Sacramento and offer the largest tract of roadless wilderness in the Pacific Northwest. Every year, thousands of mountain bikers set off to explore this wilderness, but all too often the terrain stops them dead in their tracks. In this scenario, Cody and Joe will follow the tracks of a mountain biker who is lost and gets tossed from his bike. The accident renders the bike useless. Lost in the disorienting mist, Joe and Cody will demonstrate how to survive the rugged mountains of Northern California and make it out alive. Cody and Joe arrive at the scene of the mountain bike crash. Along with a mountain bike, they find a backpack with a first aid kit, a multi-tool, a bicycle tool, and an almost empty water bottle. Also, they find a map, but have no idea whether it's a map over the area they're in. The Klamath Mountains span 18,000 square miles of remote forest. Priority for Joe and Cody is figuring out where they are and where they need to go for rescue. Joe takes a look at the map. He needs a north-south line, and he's going to craft a makeshift compass by magnetizing a small piece of wire, using the magnet from inside a headpiece which they found in the backpack. When a magnetized piece of metal is able to rotate freely, it will align with the Earth's magnetic field and indicate a north-south reading. Joe uses one of Cody's hair to tie the wire to a branch, and he gets a north-south line. Joe's not 100% sure where they are on the map, so they decide to head downhill so that Joe can verify 100% where they are. Joe Teddy is highly skilled at land navigation. As a former Green Beret, he successfully completed the STAR exam, one of the military's most difficult navigation courses, which must be passed to qualify for Special Forces. During the Northern California winter, days are short and sunlight only lasts for 10 hours. In the darkness, temperatures plummet below freezing. Joe and Cody come across a flat area and decide to settle for the day. Joe will focus on building a lean-to shelter while Cody prepares a pump drill to create fire with. Cody and Joe struggle against the cold and damp conditions to create fire using a primitive pump drill. The ember base is smoking but doesn't ignite, though eventually Cody manages to secure an ember which he uses in a timber bundle and the fire is secured. Joe estimates that they will reach the river junction on the map by morning the next day. As the new day breaks, Joe and Cody continue operating under the assumption that the topographic map they found represents their current position. They come across a stream which gives them a chance to rehydrate, but they have to disinfect the water. They use a disinfectant from the first aid kit and adds 5 drops per quarter liter of water, and it should take about 30 minutes until the water is disinfected and safe to drink. Joe and Cody eventually come across the river junction, which they've been walking towards according to the map, but now comes the next challenge, getting over to the other side. Down by the bank of the river there's a tipped over log, which is a possible way across, but the log is very slippery and wet. If one of them were to fall into the rapids below, it would almost mean certain death. Joe shimmy across the log first and Cody follow as soon as Joe is safely on the other side. As the day becomes shorter, Joe and Cody decide to camp for the night. Temperatures in the Klamath Mountains drop drastically after sunset, falling as much as 20 degrees Fahrenheit. This makes shelter paramount for surviving the nighttime cold. Cody has an idea for an igloo-type shelter. He's going to use flexible maple branches to make the frame, and meanwhile Joe gathers loads of fern leaves to lie on top of the maple branches. They finish the igloo-type shelter, and they now have to start fire using the primitive pump drill Cody made yesterday. But the place they are at now are more damp, so fire will be twice as hard to make this time. Facing sub-freezing nighttime temperatures in the damp northern California mountains, Joe and Cody struggle to light a fire using an improvised pump drill and fails to maintain an ember. Failing to create fire, Joe and Cody are in for a long and cold night. The only way to maintain body heat is to exercise large muscle groups and use squats. As dawn rises on the Klamath Mountain, Cody seeks out a food source in hopes of replenishing the calories which he and Joe have lost over the past 48 hours. The involuntary act of shivering can burn up to 400 calories per hour, depending on temperature and weight of clothing. Cody finds edible mushrooms, berries, and even earthworms. Earthworms are 82% protein, and consuming just one provides lean protein equivalent to a large egg. With yesterday's arrival at the river junction confirming the location of the topographic map, Joe and Cody face a 15-mile trek to reach a major roadway and potential rescue. Cody serves Joe some worms and mushrooms, but Joe's not much for it, but he eats a few anyway. They start their 15-mile trek towards the road, and soon they come across another river, which suggests that they are off track according to the map. Joe has been using a pace count to keep track of how far they've gone, and his pace count is 71 per 100 meters. But that's on flat ground, and the ground they've been navigating is far from flat. The variation in terrain has messed up Joe's pace count, and they might have drifted from that direction. They eventually get back on track after Joe did a map check of the area, but it's getting late in the day and colder, and they have long ways to go. Most wilderness rescue scenarios last 72 hours or less, but after that point the odds of survival decrease dramatically. As they approach their target, the road, the terrain begins to open up a little. And not long after, Cody spots a paved road. They reach it, and after some walking, spot a truck coming towards them. They both wave to get the attention of the truck, but as the truck passes them, the passenger in it flips off Cody and Joe, shouting, "Get off the road, dang hillbillies." Joe sends one back though, and that's the end of the episode. So that's the end of this episode as well as this season of Dual Survival. I don't know whether the last scene with the truck was planned, but who cares, it was funny anyway. I'd like to thank you for listening in, and if you want to follow along with my channel, then make sure you subscribe. Also, if you have any suggestions on future reviews, feel free to leave a comment below, message me, or leave a comment on my channel. Thanks for listening.